Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us today. On this episode of Red Carpet, we take a look inside Tanzania's preparations to host AFCON 2027. Ghanaian artist Amoaka Boafo unveils a new exhibit in Colorado, and the dance-off raises awareness for domestic violence in Prince George's County. Let's get on with the show. Domestic Violence Awareness Month, observed in October, is an initiative dedicated to raising awareness about domestic violence, supporting survivors, and promoting education and prevention efforts. In the U.S. state of Maryland, a local organization, the Family Justice Center Foundation, held a dance-off to support survivors of domestic violence. And one of the dancers was Margaret Dureke, a Nigerian-American philanthropist. I attended the event, and here is more. Dancing with the Stars was organized as a fundraiser by the Prince George's County Family Justice Center Foundation to raise funds to facilitate a summer camp for children who are victims of trauma and others that have post-traumatic stress. Mandrell Burks is chair of the foundation.
You know, kids witness domestic abuse, and we want to emulate what they see from home. So we want to show them a safe environment. We want to help them recognize behavioral indicators. We want to break that cycle so that they don't emulate what they see in their parents' household.
Performers showcased a range of dancing styles, from hip-hop to Afrobeat. Nigerian-American philanthropist Margaret Dureke and her dance partner Joshua Ajay, both residents of Prince George's County, dazzled the audience with their Afrobeats medley.
I've been tapped on to be one of the dancers for the STAR in fundraising effort to help Prince George's County Family Justice Center so that they can help against domestic violence. A lot of women, sometimes it could be men who experience that. But you see, or even sex trafficking and all that ills like that in the world. If we keep quiet, who's going to do it? I said, what more do I need to do? Because I know what it means to be discriminated against. I know what it means to be the titled, the less privileged. So I'm here to give voice.
So tonight we're going to be giving everybody a show. We are incorporating different dance styles from Afrobeat. We're going to be going to South Africa. We're going to be doing a little bit of piano, right? And then we're going traditional. We're bringing you some Igbo traditional as well at the end, just to tie it all off. We're going everywhere and then some, just to bring all the cultures together and just to show you that for a worthwhile cause. And like Dr. Director said, through dance, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Margaret brought a supporting cast to help her prepare for the dance-off, including her two daughters and husband, Mr. Dureke.
Margaret has been involved in raising a lot of funds for different organizations. So today, she's out to support the Prince George's County Family Justice Center Foundation to raise funds to fight domestic violence. And also she's been involved through Witati to help a lot of children and kids who are going to school to raise funds and give them scholarship all the time.
And give them a perfect day.
And now to some sports news. Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda have been chosen to host the Africa Cup of Nations, or the AFCON tournament, in 2027. It's a unique opportunity for these nations to raise both their profiles and tourist dollars. Charles Kombe has more from Dar es Salaam.
Abdallah Kibadeni has over 50 years of experience in sports, including playing on Tanzania's national football team. For him, Tanzania hosting the African Cup of Nations, or AFCON tournaments, is a lifelong dream come true.
Now that the chance has come, we need the people to come together. People should volunteer for what needs to be done. And the soccer players practice hard to ensure that we cheer and keep the trophy here at home.
Tanzania has 2 stadiums set aside for the tournament and wants to build a new stadium in Arusha to host the games. Sports officials say the other 2 AFCON host nations, Kenya and Uganda, also have plans underway.
In each of these three nations, there are new stadiums to be constructed, and some of the old stadiums will need renovations to meet the standards necessary for hosting these competitions.
But sports analyst Neema Mwenge say Tanzania has a lot of work ahead.
If you look at it, our infrastructure is still not in good shape. The stadiums are there, but they will need some renovations. It's important that our government, along with those in authority in the sports sector, put in greater efforts.
Officials say the countries should prepare now to get their stadiums and infrastructure ready for the 2027 Games. The AFCON tournament is held every 2 years. It is being held in the Ivory Coast in early 2024 and Morocco in 2025. Charles Kombe, VOA News in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
And let's get some art news. West African artist Amoaka Boafo has a new exhibit of portraits in the western U.S. state of Colorado. VOA correspondent Scott Stern has our story. Let's take a look.
The show at the Denver Art Museum includes more than 30 paintings by Ghanaian artist Amoaka Boafo. Its title, Soul of Black Folks, comes from the writings of American civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois. Boafo grew up in Ghana, near where Du Bois is buried, and says the intensity of his subject's gaze comes from Du Bois' writing on double consciousness, the experience of black people looking at themselves simultaneously through their own view and through white people's points of view.
The engagement is always there because, for me, they are ways of me expressing how I feel, what I want to say, by just connecting with images of people that kind of resonate or says the same thing that I want to say. So, when you see the paintings looking straight back at you, that is the kind of engagement I want the characters to have, because it's me trying to express myself.
Boafo says the gaze is where everything starts, giving back the energy he's getting.
I try to find ways to see if I can put life into them. And, if it happens, I'm happy.
Exhibit curator Larry Osemensa says Boafo's work is an assessment of black life through his lens, whether looking at friends or at people he admires, such as Jay-Z and Beyonce.
We want you to think about humanity, think about the humanity of black people, think about the humanity that we all encompass and sometimes forget in the hustle and bustle of our daily life. And think about joy. What does joy mean to you? What does it mean to express yourself, your full self?
Boafo's process is part of the exhibit, with video of him starting with a pencil drawing, then applying paint, often with his fingers. He says he wanted to find a technique where people would feel they were in the studio with him, with all of the colors on the surface.
I did learn how to paint with the brush, and I enjoyed painting with the brush for a very long time, but then the feeling that I get from painting with the finger is way different from the brush, because it's because of the kind of freedom it allows me to have. It's also the kind of energy it gives, the way it allows me to move freely.
The exhibit runs through February. Scott Stearns, VOA News, Denver.
And now to fashion. A group of up-and-coming fashion designers in Nairobi are transforming a slum into a fashion hub for their distinctive and colorful creations at the second Kibera Fashion Week. David Ocheng, also known as Avido, organized the event with the aim of using fashion to uplift his neighborhood. Here is more.
Kenyan designer Avido drew inspiration from his journey to create one of his mottos: great things can come from places least expected. The eldest of 4 children raised by a single mother in Kiberia, Avido had never thought about pursuing a career in fashion. Last year, The 27-year-old designer launched Kiberia Fashion Week, and the second edition was staged recently in the heart of the sprawling slum.
The purpose of Kiberia Fashion is to be able to create opportunities for the young kids that are growing up right now, because we grew up in an environment whereby we never used to have things like that. Most of our parents used to see doing fashion and design was not like an art, and they just used to take people like as tailors if you are like involved in fashion and design. And if you are involved, like let's say in modeling, like our parents will see you as maybe like as a prostitute and things like that. But through Kiberia Fashion Week, we want to to show them the real thing that is happening out there. And furthermore, we want to educate people outside the world that we also have style.
For our video, his designs have a dual purpose, both to show to the world what can come from the impoverished Nairobi neighborhood where he was born and raised, and to make it a better place.
There are so many people that are super talented down here, but they don't have the opportunities to push themselves out there. So through Kiberia Fashion Week, we are hoping that they can be able to push their story, to push their creativity, to get people to get to see their work and engage themselves in a right way.
At the event, models paraded down a catwalk overlooking the rusted tin roofs of the Kiberia neighborhood, showcasing Avido's colorful collection to the delight of the audience.
African fashion is special and it's coming up, so I think we need to promote it with such events so that people know that we can be creative and you can come out with new ideas, and it's not just about Paris or Milan. Kenya, also in Africa in general, has talented designers, and we can have forums like this to showcase such designs to the world.
Kiberia Fashion Week also featured 11 other designers from Nairobi who used a variety of materials to showcase their designs, which reflect on the social issues that affect youth in Kenya.
I feel like right now people are starting to appreciate a little bit of fashion in Kenya, which is not very much appreciated. So I hope that it grows more and people come to express themselves and maybe grow from there, in terms of fashion and everything.
Avido's creations are made in Kiberia, the largest urban slum in Kenya, but have attracted the attention of global stars such as Beyoncé and Bruno Mars, and featured in Vogue magazine.
And now let's get some music news. Artificial intelligence is being used to create musical deepfakes, songs that sound like one artist but were made by a computer. Yana Mitchell brings us the story of one artist who is engaging with machine learning to create new kinds of music. Let's check it out.
Artist Holly Herndon does not speak Catalan.
That was my voice, but I didn't sing that clip. I trained an AI on my own voice, and now she can sing anything in multiple languages.
Herndon and her team developed an artificial intelligence, or AI machine learning model, trained on her own voice that can read musical scores in multiple languages and in any vocal range. She calls it her digital twin, Holly Plus.
I think a lot of people think of AI as this kind of alien other intelligence that just kind of came from nowhere. And really what it is aggregated human intelligence.
Herndon says any kind of media that's made machine legible can be used to train an AI to create infinite generative versions. 'Cause you love to stay. This is the real-time version of Holly Plus. Whereas someone sings, the machine learning model produces music in Herndon's voice. The musician first shows his real voice on one mic and sings through Holly Plus on the other. Unlike musical deepfakes that imitate other musicians and copy their sound, Herndon sees machine learning as engaging with artists to create unique content.
I think right now it seems really scary, and I completely understand why people are apprehensive about it, but I think in the future it could be something that's really playful, and that there are ways where the artist doesn't necessarily feel like they have relinquished all control over their work.
Already, Canadian musician Grimes this year launched AI voice software using technology similar to Holly Plus that allows people to profit from what they create as long as they are willing to share half of their master recording royalties. Dina Mitchell, VOA News.
Thank you so much for watching VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Funganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voaafrica.com. We're also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Until next time, goodbye everyone.